You're back with Dunstan Kiwibred. Valachi Downs proprietor Kevin Hickman continues to invest in the New Zealand breeding and racing industry. We caught up with his stud manager Jonathan Scully to discuss the growth of the business. Valachi Downs is one of the fastest growing breeding establishments in New Zealand. The Karapiro-based farm is owned by Kevin Hickman, one of New Zealand's most successful businessmen, chiefly through his exploits with Ryman Healthcare. Despite his standing in the business world and his growing profile in racing and breeding, Hickman is a private man preferring to steer clear of the limelight, though he remains intent on increasing the profile of one of his true passions, Valachi Downs.
Kevin's very humble, and he wants to keep us, we all got to be kept grounded and humble, and we don't need to be, only way we want to go out there and gloat is by seeing either our colts or geldings winning races or the yellow colours flying past the post first. And Kevin, as you say, he doesn't really want that profile. That's probably why he's found me to come and do the job, to be the face for him for Valachi. And we've got to get out there and do a job and deliver those horses on the track.
To that end, Kevin Hickman has tasked stud manager Jonathan Scully with ensuring Valachi Downs runs like a well-oiled machine, continuing to breed and sell quality racehorses and ensuring the racing team is performing to its optimum, enhancing the Valachi brand.
When I took the job, I sort of didn't know much about it, and I don't think a lot of people in the industry actually knew a lot about Valachi, and I think the growth has been quite exponential with Kevin selling colts but keeping his fillies to race, and he's very strong on keeping on doing that. He really just wants to raise and race good racehorses, whether it be himself or he takes just as much enjoyment out of seeing one of his colts win races. So yeah, it has gone through the roof, and it's been quite a beast to sort of tame over the last 12 months, and we've really had to put in some processes and get everything in place for the growth that we have seen in this business. Kevin likes to call me a helicopter, so sort of hovering above everything and making sure everything's running right. And we've got something we've done in the last 12 to 15 months is we've been very fortunate with the staff that we've managed to bring around ourselves. It's been a big involvement in the last 12 to 15 months, as I say, so it's great to have great people.
Valachi Downs was established in 2006 on stunning rolling country near Lord of the Rings' Hobbiton, and Hickman has made a big impact in his quest to breed gun racehorses, with gallopers the quality of Silent Achiever, Vesper and Shamrocker already coming off the farm. Hickman's policy has been to sell the colts and race the fillies, and while there have been exceptions to that rule, it has meant his best racing successes have come through fillies and mares, and none has been better than four-time Group 1 winner Silent Achiever.
The New Zealand Derby, I think that was his big touch into New Zealand racing, and then to go to Australia and pick up that BMW and Ramvet, you really couldn't ask much more. And at the end of the day, I think her swan song was probably that third in the Cox Plate. She's already up in Newmarket in England and at Brook Stud, where they've done very well and taken her up there and bred her to Southern Hemisphere time. She's had a positive 16-day test to Frankel, and the next couple of days we'll see her tested hopefully positive for 28 days to Frankel. We're trying to capitalise on what Silent Achiever's done. That's really Kevin and Joanna's opportunity to brand themselves in the market. It's a very exciting job. We've got a substantial racing team, and it's really interesting for myself, Kevin and Joe, and all the team here at Valachi.
With growing numbers, Valachi Downs has bought an agistment, breaking in and pre-training property. Kevin Hickman keen to develop his investment and back his breeding philosophies while still applying a business approach.
We've actually built our numbers up. I've identified to Kevin in the last 12 months that we're getting close to being overstocked. We either have to cut numbers or we need to get some more land. So we looked around us, we tried to buy some properties near us, and we couldn't get anyone to sell anything to us. But in that process, it opened our eyes to the fact that what we really needed to do was have a property where we were able to do our pre-training, breaking in an agistment, and hence Tommy Hazard's on board. And that made us identify a property down the road, which was once Jimmy Gibbs's, which is Parkvale, and it just all made sense. We've got a pre-training track, we've got our 30 stables out there. It all just made sense in the end that this is what we have to do, and not have all these racehorses around us here on the main farm, which our focus is raising these yearlings to take to the sales and raising quality foals and yearlings. He has put a lot of money, and I think Kevin sees it as a passion, and he does his pedigrees, as I say, and his matings, and he does have approved point to prove that he wants to get out there, and he has his theories, and I think his theories are starting to be proven right with some of the stock that we're seeing.
Valachi Downs has made massive strides in the breeding industry in recent years, and Jonathan Scully believes the best is yet to come.
I think what we're going to see in the next few years is that, you know, we've built a new stable complex for here on the main farm. We're future thinking that, you know, we sold well this year. Kevin rolled a lot of that money back into building a new barn, thinking, you know, another 2 to 3 years time we should have up to 30 quality colts to sell. So that'll be a substantial size draft of just colts in New Zealand alone. So we hope to be having over 50-75% of those will be K1 colts, and that's where we see ourselves in the next couple of years probably. We're always looking out for the next best thing that we can do with our horses to improve their quality or do the best thing for the horse, and hence we've spent money on systems and processes to make this happen.
Such a beautiful farm, Valachi Downs, and Kevin Hickman continues to make his mark in the New Zealand racing and breeding scene. I guess for me, Emily, it's all about Silent Achiever. Going around in his colours, she was one of my favourites.
Such a great mare, and it's going to be really interesting to see her first foal on the ground, of course, by Frankel.
Coming up on Dunstan Kiwibred, we take a look at last season's champion 2-year-old and first season sire showcasing, and we review the pedigree of current Cox Plate favourite Kermadec.
But up next, we're at Cambridge Stud, where I found out a little bit more about yearling manager Dominic Corbin.
Well, I'm currently the yearling manager here at Cambridge Stud, so I oversee 80 yearlings for the Cracker yearling sales, and I oversee 20 to 25 student staff members through the yearling prep.
That's a huge amount of horses. Talk me through a day-to-day, sort of how you go about managing all of those horses.
Well, our day sort of starts at 5:45, and we'll start just tipping out the colts to their day paddocks and fillies, and we'll go through a process like that, bringing all the horses out, checking their legs, checking their conformation, making sure they get safe and sound out to the paddocks. And then obviously we'll go for breakfast, we'll muck out, bring all the horses back in safe and sound. Then we'll sort of go for a series of grooming all the horses, bringing them all out, looking at them, making sure they're going the right way with our feeding and nutritional programs.
So you've had not only experience here in New Zealand, but I understand a lot of experience overseas. Talk me through a little bit of what you did around the world. Well,
in 2009 I went to Coolmore Island. I first started off in the foaling unit, and then I progressed into the stallions side of things, and obviously Coolmore Island, they've stand over 20 plus stallions, and sort of lucky enough to be around there at the time. Sadler's Wells was still around. Galileo was obviously hitting his straps, and so was Monju as well. So it was a very exciting time.
Tell me, what do you love about doing yearling preps and looking after the yearlings?
I think just, when we first bring them in and then getting them to the end result, the Cracker sales, the boss treats it like a Melbourne Cup, just the preparation, all the little details, everything just adds up, and just getting them there looking as good as they can, getting them there mentally and physically, and just seeing them go through the ring, making their money, and then going on to be successful racehorses for people and getting good returns for our clients, and just that whole experience is just a great one.